hard to control how long the live is gonna go. So, it's just easier for me to do this solo. Plus, this is probably a topic left better for me just to do solo anyways. So, just a couple things I wanna get off my chest. So, I think it was Monday. It was either Monday or yesterday. I don't remember, but one of those 2 days, Boxing Jedi did a video or a live, which I missed live. I watched the playback, but he did a live saying that he's done with the YTBC. He gave his reasons, um, and he says that it's kind of a bitter departure, which I don't blame him for feeling that way. Um, but yeah, hey, what up, Philip Carl Roberts? But I just feel like I have to say something in regards to this. Um, First, let me start from my origins, all right? Because some people who are newer to me may not realize certain things when it comes to me and the box and my friendship with the Boxing Jedi. All right, so many years ago, I was on here looking at boxing content, wasn't a creator yet, and I was just looking at. I'll never forget. Actually, I'll never forget. I was actually looking at videos about Broner versus Porter. All right, I'm just looking at different videos, and I saw different channels. Some of them I ended up subbing to. Some of them I didn't. Most of them I didn't. Actually, none of them. I didn't sub to any of them immediately. Like I was just browsing through the videos. I'd watch a video by this person, a video by that person, and some of them I ended up subbing to later on other videos that I watched of theirs. But probably the only channel that I did sub to that day was the Boxing Jedi. At that time, his channel was just simply known as Jay Cotto. Hey, what up, JD Boxing? So I immediately noticed, just something real and really passionate about this channel. So I went ahead and I subscribed. And I would watch his videos and comment. He would reply. And, I always heard him talk about hashtag come back to boxing. And, like, eventually I said something along the lines of, oh, I really like what you're doing. I like your movement. And he said, what's your movement too? And on that day, essentially, that was the day that RGM was conceived, in a nutshell. What up, James Jameson? Hope you're doing well. But yeah, that's when I was conceived into the YTBC, though. So yeah, so that's why I feel the need to speak on this. Um, Now, in watching his live, he said he didn't want to hear no goodbyes and all that. So this is not a send off. I don't want the wrong uh, idea to be taken from this live. This isn't a send off. This is more of a statement. I'm gonna talk about some things here that I think are very important to touch upon because it has to do with situations leading up to the Jedi leaving. Has a lot to do with this community. And it has a lot to do with just social media in general. So, um, my understanding is that, you know, the Boxing Jedi, he was, he's always talked about whatever he wanted to. All right. And from the very beginning, from when I first saw him, he's always had issues because we have people in the, here on YouTube who just can't handle varying opinions. They want an echo chamber. Here's the thing, though. But if any of you who are listening come across this live, right? If you are looking for an echo chamber, that's perfectly fine. You can totally have that. All right. There's a very simple way to go about getting your echo chamber, and it's simply when you hear somebody that you don't like their opinion, just change the channel. It's very simple. You have complete control over whatever content you're consuming here on YouTube. What a Boxing Lounge. You have complete control over that. So, like, let's say you come across my channel. You don't like what I'm saying, whether it be about boxing or movies or video games or whatever the topic may be. If it really rubs you that much the wrong way that much, please, by all means, just go elsewhere. Go listen to whoever is going to tickle your fancy. Because I'm not here to tickle fancies. I'm here to give my point of view, speak facts where those facts are called for. Um, that's what I'm here for. I'm here to build a community where people, are able to speak their minds without, people trying to cancel them. So yeah, by all means, don't try to take my channel down. Like, there's a lot of channels out here that I don't like, and I do not go and try to take those channels down. Like that's like, first off, that's a lot of energy to put into just trying to get rid of somebody. It's way easier just not to watch them. It's so easy. Like shout out to Geico. It's so easy, even a caveman can do it. Um, I'm not gonna put that kind of energy. I have a hard enough time putting energy into making content. My bad. I done fucked up, AA Ron. Oh wait, it's Nocturnal. Oh, what a oh, did you change the name of your channel? Boxing Nocturnal. All right. I kind of like that, just because your other name, not that there was anything wrong with it, but it was long. So yeah, it does make it simpler to address you. So yeah, what up, Nocturnal? Yeah, free speech should be about protecting the speech that you don't like. I agree, but yeah, like, I think that's like, if I was out there, let me say this: there's a lot more people out there making content that I disagree with than content that I do agree with. Like, there's a lot of channels that I'm sub to, but there's way more channels that I'm not in the boxing community. Um, because I don't like them. However, despite how much I may dislike an individual, I am never going to take it upon myself to try to get rid of them. All right? It's very simple. You don't like content, you don't watch that content. There's no need to try to, Jedi's channel, he said he had it for like 10 years. That is a decade that he'll never get back. And some people may not give a shit, but trust me, if you put a decade's work into building a channel, you would give a shit about that. So even if you don't give a shit about somebody else's body of work, all right, you have to at least acknowledge that if you were in that position, you'd be pissed. you'd be extremely pissed because you put all this energy into building something. There's features that, I mean, in the time I've been watching Boxing Jedi, I've never seen a single ad on his channel, and he definitely was eligible for it. But let's say he one day decided that he did want to make money off of YouTube, off of the AdSense. He could, he was able to do that at that time. But then when shit went down and he had to start a new channel, all that went away. So, I mean, to me, this was just a very bad situation. And I'll be honest with you guys, I don't know all the ins and outs. He kept on talking about having to have a VPN, and I'm completely aware of what a VPN is and what a VPN does. I just, I don't understand where that exactly came into play um, in this whole situation. But I do know this, all right. Even if you couldn't donate or whatever the case may be, all right. Um, you could have at least spread word of mouth. You know, that's what I did. I mean, I'm gonna open up to y'all just a little bit right now. To be honest, uh, there was a good amount of time since I've had this channel that I was unemployed. I'm not unemployed now, and I wasn't unemployed when I started this channel. Um, when I started the channel, I had a job for years, and then something happened. I'm not going to get into details, but um, the job that I had before is not the job that I have now, and there was a span of about 2 years where I wasn't working. Okay, um, by the grace of God, I survived during that time. I'm not going to go into those details either, but a lot of people, um, if they were to be unemployed for 2 years, they would be homeless, or at the very least, they would have to be living with a relative, and I didn't have to do either of those two things. So I'm not gonna, like I said, I'm not gonna get into details, but uh, I somehow was able to stay afloat during that time, and even now, I've been working for a good little while again, and still had certain things that I had to catch up on. And actually, now that I think about it, I think I finally got caught up on everything just 2 days ago. Yeah. So, anyways, um, you know, in that time though, there was a lot of work that I put into my channel. Um, and there's still more work to be done. I understand the kind of work it takes. Like a lot of people, if you don't, oh, what up, Unrivaled? Well, hello to you too. Hey, how's it going, Lebanon Hebrew? But I watch the channel just to support and join the conversation. If I don't like the channel, I simply won't watch it. Apart from BFTV, I'm a guilty. We're not gonna talk about that guy right now. But yeah, I mean, it's a lot of work. And it's not just work making the content. There is an actual toll that this hobby, and I'm pretty sure this isn't exclusive to the YTBC. It goes with, I think, just YouTube in general. But there is a mental toll that this takes on you, believe it or not. It, don't get me wrong, it can be fun. You meet some awesome people, but there is an emotional toll because when you make videos, unless you're making montages or something like that, if you're making videos where you're basically commentating about anything, you are essentially putting a piece of yourself on the internet. And people are going to do one of a couple different things. All right. One of those things is they will give you props. They will, they will encourage you. Um, a lot of times, the ones who are able to will even if you're not able to like get super chats, you'll get people who are willing to, they'll be like, hey, you have a Cash App, or, I'd like to support you financially. You know, um, you get all different kinds of people in the spectrum of positivity. Um, you'll get some people that they may not even watch all your videos, but when they go to sleep, they'll put your videos on. They'll purposely go in and thumb up every video, even if they don't watch them necessarily. And it's not because they're disingenuous; it's because, um, a lot of people in this community, they got families, they got lives, like but at the same time, they want to help you in any way that they can, even if it's purely just through the algorithm. And then when they have the availability, then they'll watch your videos, you know. And but then you get the people on the other spectrum, and they also range from just people doing some light trolling, people just trying to get a rise from you, up to um like people who legitimately want to meet up with you and kick your ass. There's people who will do everything they can to find information out about you so that they can get you fired just because you have a boxing opinion, you know? And when you put yourself on the internet like this, you can't help but to feel personally attacked when certain things happen. And it happens to everybody. It happens to the smallest of channels. It happens to the biggest of channels. Nobody, the internet, doesn't give a fuck about your feelings, to be honest. So just a moment. Yeah, exactly. You don't like that dude, but you never try to end this channel. And I agree 100%. I also don't like him. I'm not gonna say his name again. I don't like him, but I would never try to take his channel away. Like, if people want to go and support that bullshit, they're gonna be on some bullshit regardless. Okay, so the way I see it, if he has their attention, they're not coming over trying to fuck with me, and I'm cool with that. I'm very cool with that. I came to the realization a long time ago that I'm not everybody on YouTube is gonna like me. Not everybody in the YTBC is gonna like me. No matter how hard I try to please everybody, I will never be able to please everybody. I found that out very early in being on YouTube, and you know, I don't pay attention to dislikes for the most part. And I think I heard YouTube changed it where either it's going away, or they've already done this change where it doesn't show. I don't know. I don't know. It really doesn't affect me because I never really paid attention to dislikes. I'm not gonna lie. When I see a lot of likes on a video, it makes me feel good. But at the same time, I don't put all my stock into that. Um, some people, for whatever reason, they they want to play hard to get with their like button, and that's perfectly fine. Like, I'm not. I if I'm sub to you and I watch a video of yours, chances are there's a like that's on there. So I try to support others on here, but boxing or doxing is dry snitching, right? Yeah, I agree. But when I saw this whole thing, I really wish there was more I could have done in this particular situation because I really didn't want to see the boxing Jedi go. But I'm gonna say this, all right? The YTBC needs the boxing Jedi and people like him. Okay, we need it. However, the boxing Jedi does not need the YTBC. And I'm not saying that to make it seem like he's a deity or anything like that. What I'm saying is, as I mentioned before, like this doing this hobby comes with a lot of baggage. A lot of baggage that a lot of people don't realize until they start uploading. All right. There's a lot of different things that go through your head every time you upload a video and you see the kind of interactions that you're getting. The good interactions are really good. The bad interactions are really bad. Um, I remember the first time I got a dislike. It took me like, I don't know, like 6 or 7 videos, which I was not uploading that much in the beginning. So that probably took like a month and a half before I got my first dislike. And it's not because I was making excellent videos, it's because I was getting almost no views. Once you start getting views, that's when your dislikes start coming in. Because if one person watches your video and that person's your mama, she's gonna thumb it up. But if you have, you know, 300 people watch a video, there's bound to be some people who are gonna dislike it simply because they don't like you and your opinion. You know. What up, Eat a Peach? I like to play hard to get with with the ladies, not the likes. Yeah, but yeah, it's just sad that he didn't get the support that he deserved. Um, I will say this, like he looked at how many people were subbed to him before and how many people subbed to the new channel. I don't really think that's a good way to gauge, and that's because there's a lot of different things that happen. You get people who just lose interest in YouTube altogether. All right, especially in the YTBC because let's be real, it gets really toxic for no good reason. No good reason. But so people get turned off due to that. And there's other reasons. Some people they just they really enjoyed YouTube at one point, and now they got better things to do. So I mean, it's just especially when you've been on YouTube for as long as Jedi was. I mean, I wouldn't gauge like I wouldn't gauge that way. However, that's completely up to Jedi. Like I said, the community needs him, not the other way around. Um, and that's the thing, like I could come on here and beg and plead for him to stay, but really, to be fair, like if he really felt like he didn't want to do this anymore, and people didn't give him a reason to want to do this anymore, then leaving is the right thing to do. Like why do something that makes you feel like you're wasting your time, you know? And like if you really want to know what that feels like, make content for like 6 months, all right? You can do a little experiment. Make content for 6 months in the YTBC. I can't speak for other communities because this is the only community I've truly been a part of. So just make videos in the YTBC, all right? And just try to make content as much as you can, see how everything goes, and then Later, like I said, like 6 months later down the line, stop making content out of nowhere. And when I say stop making content, I mean really stop. Like cold turkey, do not check your analytics, don't check your sub count, don't do any of that. Just simply leave it alone. You'll find peace. Like you'll find that you feel so much more peaceful without the YTBC. And I'm just keeping it real. I'm just being honest. You will find a peace like like if you don't make content, you don't. I mean, let me not say that like for sure, but in a lot of cases, some of you who don't make content, you probably have a level of peace that you're taking for granted. Okay, which you will surely learn if you were to make content for like 6 months straight. Like I said, like try to upload as much as you can, engage with your audience and everything. Do the uploads, do the lives, uh, actually reply to comments. Do it how you would do it for real. And then, like I said, stop cold turkey. You're gonna feel a weight lifted off your shoulders. All right, and here's the thing. All right, every time I mean I can only speak for myself. Every time that I'm off of YouTube for a period of time, there always comes a time where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go check on my channel, and I go and I take a look, and then I say to myself, do I want to return? Do I want to put? Do I want to go back to subjecting myself to the kind of shit that will come along with uploading content? For me, obviously, I always say yes. You know, I do like making content. You, you know, it's like anything else in life. The pros have to outweigh the cons. All right. And to me, it seems like Jedi is just at a point where the pros no longer outweigh the cons. The cons have taken over, and he's like, if people ain't even giving me a reason to come and subject myself to the kind of bullshit that I got to deal with, if I'm gonna participate in this community, why the fuck am I gonna stay? And that's why I tell and I need to get back into doing that. I did it for a while. I don't know why I stopped, but there was a while where I was telling y'all, make sure that the content creators that you support know that you support them. Like you don't have to necessarily comment on every video or anything like that, but just from time to time, let them know that you're there. Let them know that you appreciate the time that they put into their channel. Um, Now, don't get it twisted. I don't think you guys owe us anything. Um, but it's kind of a give and take. You know, you don't know what kind of day an uploader is having. Just because they upload don't mean that they're in a good mood. They could have recorded the shit when they're in a good mood. By the time they upload it, they're in a bad mood. The kids are misbehaving, or you know, they just found out that their wife or their girlfriend's been cheating on them, or maybe something maybe not quite as bad, but I mean, depending on how you look at it, maybe their spouse is running up the credit card bill, and you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of different things. Any little bit of encouragement that you can give to them, it can make all the difference. Boxing Nocturnal was in here. He probably is still here. I know a lot of times he works out when he's listening. But when I told everybody about his channel, I said, "Hey, go check this guy out. He's real. He keeps it real. He's really mature, which is something that this community is severely lacking." But he has a level of maturity that I mean, I wish I could say I had that level of maturity on my channel, but I don't. But he's like a breath of fresh air, and a lot of channels are breaths of fresh air for different reasons. But he told me that I was his hero, and I don't know what he was going through the day that I did that or whatever, but it made all the difference for him. And you may not realize it, but you have that power. You do have that power. Um, and it's like I said, if you're showing a content creator that you support them and they show you that they don't give a shit, then maybe it's time to stop supporting them. But there's a lot of them that will let you know how much they appreciate your support. And like I said, you don't know what they're going through. You don't know they could have just got fired from their job. That's right, respect. But yeah, let me take a look at some of these, or better yet, let me see. The environment is as toxic as you want it to be, or better yet, allow it to be. That's true. That's true. You get, um, I mean, I'm probably a little bit more lenient. Uh, all right, James, I gotta take a look at what he said in a little bit, but um, maybe I'm a little bit too lenient. My thing is this: I'm a very forgiving person. Um, there's not a lot that I won't forgive people for. Um, even some things that I thought, man, this motherfucker has fucked up. He can kiss my ass, kick rocks. I don't give a shit what's happening. I wouldn't piss on him if he caught on fire. I would think these things, but when push comes to shove, then I find myself um, being forgiving, and maybe I'm a little bit too forgiving. But um, you do have to know how to draw lines that when people cross them, doesn't mean you don't forgive them. I think you should really and truly. I think you should always forgive everybody. Doesn't necessarily mean that you forget though. And just because you forgive somebody doesn't mean that you're obligated to interact with them either. You know. So, but all right. Let me see what James said. What does the YTV stand for? More alphabet people, unicorns, and rainbow. Well, YTBC it just stands for YouTube Boxing Community. It's not like really. It's not like I'm just gonna say it because um, people. I think it's just the easiest thing for people. The easiest. I think it's just the easiest example to use. It's not like the LDBC. LDBC is a very specific community of people. Okay, the YTBC is not really specific. It just stands for YouTube Boxing Community. So technically, even if you're in the LDBC, a lot of them will tell you that they're not. But the reality is this: I mean, especially if you're accepting AdSense from YouTube, you're part of this fucking YouTube boxing community, whether you want to acknowledge it or not. But that's basically what the YTBC is. It's just the YouTube boxing community. All right. And you're part of it, James. You're part of the YTBC, whether you like it or not. Now, you just may be a commenter, and that's perfectly fine. But you're still in it. If I go to somebody's live, Raphael Dawkins, I'll use him as an example. If I go to any random Raphael Dawkins live from the past couple years, chances are I'm gonna see James Jameson there. When I look at the chat from that day. So you're part of, whether you like it or not, you're part of this community. So, but it's not like, it's not a particular faction like the LDVC or the BBB or the uh, what is NBC. For some reason I couldn't remember NBBC. Or the UGC or any other faction that may be out there, where you have like specific channels who are within that. We'll just call it a network. Um, it's not that specific. It's basically just the YouTube boxing community. So if if you didn't know that, now you know. Anytime you hear somebody say the YTBC, they're basically talking about anybody who makes boxing content on YouTube. So, hey, what up, CMD Boxing Reports? Hope you're doing well. What up, Foxstrikes again? Hold on. Same way there are different atheist groups, but I'm a part of the YTBC. Yeah, let me take a look here. Welcome to the chat, by the way. What up, Jeff Lucieta? Or do you have a no, I don't have a mouthpiece side to me. Somebody get rid of Megan. I'm not here to, I'm not here to let people post like dumbass links, you know. But hold on. Oh, what up, 150 Dream Team? I didn't realize you was here. Welcome to the chat. What up, Steven Schrader? But yeah, Meg's always causing trouble, man. Meg's a bitch. But yeah, real quick. So I'm getting all over the place now, but there are specific things I want to talk about in regards to this. Um, but yeah, definitely let the content creators know that you're there, that you're listening and you're supporting them. Um, Back to the whole thing about like echo chambers and not liking people's opinions. All right. Um, it's like I said, like if you don't like my opinion, like if I really rub you the wrong way, just go ahead and leave. I don't try to hold nobody against their will to watch my content. All right. If you're here listening, it's because you want to. All right. And if you have a problem with me, that I'm not here to hold your hand. I'm not here to tell you what you want to hear. And I'm not here to baby you. I'm like, you don't like what I'm saying, just go. Just go. Um, I had a life before you started watching me. I'll have a life after you stop watching, you know. And but yeah, like it's very sad to see that he didn't get the support that he should have got. Um, and apparently he didn't feel it worth his while to stay. So I wish him all the best. Um, Boxing Jedi, if whenever you do open your comic book store that I heard you mention, please feel free to shoot me a link to the website so I can, maybe purchase some wares. I'm not really into the action figures. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that for anybody who is, but I mean, I'll definitely buy a comic book or there's certain other things, certain things that I might be interested in purchasing. What up, BG London? Hope you're doing well. Totally free him on that. Oh, okay. You canceled your VPN. Yeah, I still don't really. It's like I said, I understand what a VPN is and why he wanted it, but um, I I just don't understand how all that went down. To be honest, because I've been using VPNs long before they became popular. Like I want to say probably the past 5, 6 years is really when people have been pushing VPNs. You really didn't hear about them before then, but I was using a VPN back in 2008. So I'm very familiar with VPNs and what they do, what they're capable of. Um, so it just I don't know, and he felt like it was a necessity, and he said that once he didn't have a VPN, he like stopped paying it at one point, and immediately his shit got taken over. And that sucks. Like I said, 10 years of uploading, and he don't have access to it, and that's some bullshit. That shouldn't happen. But I don't know. And let me get into the whole legends never die portion, because I really haven't touched on that, and I think I would be doing y'all a disservice if I didn't at least touch on that. So, in my honest opinion, Boxing Jedi is a legend. Um, and for those who didn't know who he is, don't know who he is or anything, that's fine. But the reason why I say he's a legend is because he has a legacy, and that legacy consists of a couple different things. One part of that legacy is his videos. His videos are still there, so they are at least viewable for those who want to view them. Um, and he has a second channel that he attempted, that he wasn't happy with the results that he was getting, but there's still content there to watch. But another big part of his legacy are the people that he inspired, and the people that those people inspired. I'm a living testament of that. If you didn't hear the story at the beginning, you can definitely check out the playback. But I started my channel based off of interactions that I had with the Boxing Jedi. In fact, there was a time where if I was being mentioned by somebody, Boxing Jedi was being mentioned as well. That's how much people associated me with him. Um, and that's just because of how tight we were. I was considered hashtag come back to boxing, and even when I didn't really consider even when I said I'm UGC now, I still always had an affiliation with hashtag come back to boxing. And I mean, since then I've branched out into more of my own thing. But there was a time where if RGM was being mentioned, um, Jedi was being mentioned too, and but not the other way around this, because Jedi was around longer than me. So like, he was his own person, and me, I was kind of, to an extent, and it wasn't on purpose, but kind of riding his coattails, for lack of a better term. So I'm part of that legacy. It just, that's what it is. I'm part of that legacy. Um, Me and him, we never had a falling out. There were certain things that those I'm gonna be vague with certain things, because it's not my story to tell. So I'm just telling my side, the part that is mine. But there are things that happened in his personal life, um, that I talked to him about, and then I would open up about comparable things that happened to me, and let him know that I was rooting for him. I was on his side, and he would do the same for me. And yeah, I mean, it's just sad that, and to me, it sounds like this has to do with his political opinions, is why everything went down. And that's the thing, all right? In the United States, people will make a big deal about, oh, it's your right to vote, all right? And make your voice be heard, and all this stuff, all right? But and I said this in one of Jedi's recent lives, and that is, it's an unwritten rule that you don't talk about politics. And I wasn't saying that to tell him, hey, you shouldn't talk about politics, because the reality is this: I think people should be able to talk politics. In fact, there was there was certain things that Jedi said politically that I didn't necessarily agree with. However, it goes back to the freedom of speech. People should be able to say, if you're a Trump supporter, you should be able to say that you're a Trump supporter. Okay? But people, they can't handle that. Okay? Because the reality is this, like, the reality is politicians lie. They, a lot of them, you look into their previous professions, and a lot of them were lawyers at one time. And, there's that old joke. How do you know a lawyer is lying? Well, anytime he's speaking, or he or she is speaking, they're lying, and that's just, it's a joke, but it's a joke that exists because there's a level of truth to it, you know, and the reality is this, like, a lot of people want to take the moral high ground, but in reality, I mean, your candidate is probably just as guilty of the same shit. Just keeping it real. Like, there's a lot of people who they've done so much research on the candidate that they hate, and so little research on the one they support, that they don't even know that their person is just as guilty. You know, and I just think we need to do better as a community. People need to be a lot more open to the possibility that they're not always right and that they're not always righteous. You know, I've 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 said my fair share of apologies on YouTube because I'm not always right, and I try to be open to the possibility that I'm wrong all the time. But unfortunately, because people can't handle opinions, especially when it comes to politics, that's why it's an unwritten rule. Same thing with religion. There's just certain things that, unless you're on YouTube to specifically talk about those things, if you're on here, this goes for any community. If you're on here making content about video games, the second that you say something political, you're going to lose subscribers. You could have 5 subscribers, you're going to lose two. the second that you, the second that you give your opinion about abortion or something, you know what I'm saying? Like anything political. So that's why there is that unwritten rule. Unless you're here to specifically talk about politics, um, you don't do it. Unless you're here to specifically talk about religion, don't talk about it because you're gonna build a community and an audience that see you one way, but the second that you talk about one of those touchy subjects, you change their whole perception about you. And it should not be that way. You should be able to say what you believe, and people should respect you enough to say, you know what. And of course, there's exceptions to the rule. All right. Of course, there are exceptions to the rule. There's certain things that are just non-negotiable. You know, it's one thing to say that you think people should be allowed to commit suicide. It's another thing to say I think that I think murder is cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, there's, and I don't, not that I've ever seen anybody say that murder is cool. I'm using obviously an extreme, but what I'm saying is, obviously there's exceptions to the rule. There's always exceptions, but generally speaking, when people talk about political policies, um, they should be allowed to do that. without their channel being snatched away from them. You know, but let me take a look here. Probably should be ending this real soon. What does the fox say? He says something funny. Although I'm a corner, if I was an American, I would have chosen Trump over Biden easily. Be careful what you say. I'm just kidding. I mean, I think most of my audience is mature enough to understand that. Like, but yeah. And I mean, I kind of like. I mean, I'll tiptoe into a couple things when it comes to politics. Um, I mentioned like, hey, you can say what you want about Trump, but these gas prices are a lot higher than they were under Trump. I'm not saying everything was perfect under Trump, but I noticed a significant increase in gas prices. And take that as you will. I'm not saying to only vote based off of gas prices. I'm just saying, like, you know, there's a lot of people who acted like things were going to change. Everything was going to change for the better, and that certainly has not been the case. Um, California, damn. When I was in California, I was in Santa Cruz at one point. Gas was $5.19 a gallon. Damn. Just for reference, I was at Walmart earlier because I was running around for some bullshit. I'm not gonna get into that. But I was at Walmart, and that Walmart has a gas station, and their price was $3.08 a gallon. So, I mean, I didn't gas. I just noticed it. I just glanced just out of curiosity. Um, and I'm pretty sure the gas station I go to typically, I could probably get it even cheaper than that. So, but just saying, before I was gassing it like somewhere between 218. Sometimes it would crawl up to like 250, but it usually didn't go much higher than that. And now we're at 308 over here, and in Santa Cruz, $5.19. I was like, damn, this is a beautiful state, but I could never live here. No, that wasn't the average. I definitely saw lower over there. I think the lowest I saw was like $4.60, which is still like way more than here. But yeah, we're not gonna get into. Let's not get too far into the politics. I don't want to get canceled. You know. Hey, what up, Sporting Advantage? I remember my dad saying he would never drive again if gas a dollar went to $1 a gallon. Damn. When I was a kid, I remember it being like a dollar, $1.10 a gallon. And then when I was in high school, I remember one time my mom saw a gas station. It was $1.76, I think it was. She was like, "That's ridiculous," and she was like, "I'm gonna find the next gas station." If we saw $1.76 now, we're filling that bitch up. We might buy a gas can just to fill that bitch up. Like $1.76 is extremely good right now. Exactly, like truth and even just opinions, truth, opinions, and none of the shit is allowed. Truth and opinions are racist, unless they belong to certain people. That's kind of how it seems a lot of times. That's how a lot of people act. But anyways, you know, we should try to do better. We should, you know, expect that we are not going to agree on everything. If a content creator starts talking about politics, please understand that is just a part of who they are. Their political views and policies are just a small part of who they are. All right. I've said this before, but it's been a while. I'd like to think that even the channels that I don't like, all right, even the ones that, are on the skin politics that I really do not like, even them, I would like to think that if I was in a, you know, in a car wreck and my car caught on fire, they would do what they can to get me out of that situation. I'd like to think that most people in this community would help somebody, regardless of, all bullshit aside, boxing point of view, political point of view, your point of view on fried chicken, that you would do what you could to get your fellow man out of a deadly situation. So, but anyways, um, I think I'm gonna go ahead and get going. Yeah, California gas is out of control. I can agree with you on that. But I hope everybody is safe. Enjoy the holidays. Um, this is a time of year where a lot of people are a lot more, um, not everybody, but there's a lot of people who are we're in a better mood. I don't know if the Christmas music is what does it, or just, I don't know. Just something about this season. Um, it just brings out the best in people a lot of times. Don't forget to just spend time with your family, even if you don't have like a religious belief or whatever. It's never a bad time to spend quality time with your family. All right. By the way, 8-Bit Christmas, I approve of it. I really liked it. I watched it on the plane ride back to Tampa, and I liked it. It's a one and done, but it's a good one and done. I'm not the type of person who watches movies a whole lot, but I definitely recommend it for at least a watch. I might even recommend it as, one that you watch every couple years around Christmas time. Yeah, 8-Bit Christmas is good. Um, I recently, I've been watching Hawkeye. Let me just talk about that real quick. I promise I'm going to end there. I just want to talk about a couple things real quick. Hawkeye, I'm really enjoying. Um, Spider-Man is going to I think it comes out tomorrow. So for those of you who are interested in that, that seems to be pretty exciting. I know Foxstrikes, he's really movies. I am too. I'm not saying that I'm not, but I know I've seen him do a lot of reviews on comic books, just comic books in general, but comic book movies. I finally got around to watching Loki because my girlfriend, she was being a pain in the ass about it, but we finally watched it. And then, unrelated to those shows, this is a show that, if you got HBO Max, um, I found it to be very entertaining. And it is a show by the name of The Righteous Gemstones. It was recommended to me by a buddy of mine. And I'll be honest, it's not for everybody. All right. It's not for everybody. So there's certain people who just may want to stay away from it. But I'll give you a quick synopsis of what the show is about. It is, well, first off, it stars uh, John Goodman, uh, Danny McBride, and what's that kid's name? Well, he's not really a kid, but uh, I can't remember his name. Adam Devine. That's his name. Adam Devine. But yeah, this show is fucking hilarious. Um, I laugh so hard. So basically, the premise is, it's about this mega church. Uh, John Goodman is the pastor. Danny McBride and Adam Devine are both his sons. They're also pastors in this church, but he's like John Goodman's the main pastor. Adam Devine is a youth pastor, and then Danny McBride. I don't know what kind of pastor he is, but he's a pastor in the church too. But it's it's such a funny show. It's like a if I would say this, all right, if you like Breaking Bad, which sounds weird because it's a show about a mega church, but if you like Breaking Bad, you would like this show. The show is very akin to Breaking Bad as far as like the kind of shit that happens, and I would say it's like a Breaking Bad that's a little bit more on the comedy side, but it still has like these really fucked up situations. So if you have HBO Max, check out. Oh, what a rascal! But yeah, if you have HBO Max, I would recommend watching it as long as religious jokes don't offend you easily. Because I know some people, Oh, what up, Bruce Goes? Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. Because a lot of people, there's people who have lost loved ones, and this time of year really reminds them of that. So, but but yeah, check out the Righteous Gemstones. If like I said, like if you like Breaking Bad, I would say you would probably like this show because there's just a lot of fucked up shit that happens. And to be honest, as fucked up as it is, at the end of the season, it gets kind of heartfelt unexpectedly. Um, and I don't really feel like the show really pushes an agenda one way or the other. It's kind of like The Boys. If anybody's seen The Boys, it's like, these superheroes ain't perfect. Same thing with this. Like, in fact, these are some of the most fucked up people. It's a really good show. Like, I enjoyed it a lot. I'm even contemplating watching it again. Um, because I really enjoyed it a lot. Like, I really like Danny McBride. I think he's hilarious. You don't know who that is? He was in Pineapple Express. He's the guy who played Red. He was also in Due Date. He was the guy in the wheelchair. He was a small part in Due Date. He's the guy in the wheelchair that beats the shit out of Robert Downey Jr. He was also in Tropic Thunder. He usually plays like small parts, but he's been in a couple shows where he's, like the main guy. And my understanding is he produced this show. He also, I think he produced like the newer Halloween movies, if I'm not mistaken. So, but yeah, um, I really like it. Yeah, The Boys is good, man. The Boys is good. Of The Boys? Oh, you're talking about Hawkeye. Yeah. The newest episode of Hawkeye was dope as shit. Like, and if you're not really into, the comic books and stuff, you're not gonna understand this. But yeah, the newest episode of Hawkeye was really good. See, the first two, they released the first two episodes on my birthday. And when I watched them, I was like, this is not bad, but it's not exciting, at least not yet. And then the third episode happened and it got a little bit better. And the fourth episode happened and it got even better. And now it's just like, I think today was episode 5, if I'm not mistaken. And it was like, it really got me excited. I'm not going to get into spoilers because there might be people, like if Jet, well, he's probably already seen it, but, you know.
Yeah. I'm not gonna spoil nothing. I'm just saying it's gotten it's picked up quite nicely. Yeah, Fox, don't spoil it. Also, yeah, I was I was checking out a buddy of mine's Twitch earlier, and out of nowhere, the chat filled up like real quick, and it was somebody spoiling the new Spider-Man. Don't be an asshole like that. There is no reason to spoil shit. I'll never forget, and I'm not even into Star Wars, but I remember hearing this story and I was like, "Oh, that's fucked up." For anybody who is a Star Wars fan and you haven't seen the new trilogy, I'm pretty sure if you're a Star Wars fan, you've seen it. But this is like your one and only warning. All right, I'm gonna count to 10, and I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say. All right, one Mississippi, two Mississippi, three Mississippi, four Mississippi, five Mississippi, six Mississippi, seven Mississippi, eight Mississippi, nine Mississippi, 10 Mississippi. All right, you've been warned. All right, but I'll never forget. I heard this story where I don't remember which one in the trilogy it was. I think it was the Last Jedi. But there's one where Han Solo dies, and people were waiting. This was like opening weekend. I heard a story where people were waiting to enter the cinema, and as people were exiting the cinema from the showing that just ended, somebody just yelled out, "Han Solo died." Don't do shit like that. Like you literally gain nothing. Like if you're the kind of person who gains enjoyment from that shit, you need to reevaluate like what the fuck you're like like I know it's just a movie and it's trivial, but at the same time, like there's people who plan their whole day and night around events like this. Don't do shit like that. It's really fucked up. Anyways, yeah. Oh yeah, I saw the Jeremy Jans review. He did a good review of it. He non anybody who wants to see a review that's non spoiler, Jeremy Jans did one. So, oh, hybrid, what up? Before I go, I'll tell you, he's leaving the YTBC, and it seems like it's for good this time, and it's just because he got his shit snatched away from him, and it's a big old mess, man. It's a big mess. But yeah. Anyways, yeah. So that's the shit I've been watching. That's what I've been into, and yeah, like I said, don't be a douchebag. Just like if you enjoy being a douchebag, then I don't want you nowhere near me. Anyways, I gotta get going. Y'all take it easy. Y'all be blessed. Peace.